Hey, welcome to the Stronger Marriage Podcast with Trey and Lee.
Good to to be with y'all. I guess we're not seeing you, huh?
Glad y'all have joined us today. Thank you, whether you're driving in your vehicle or at home listening to the podcast. Thank you for always listening. We're very honored that you do that. And we want to talk a little bit about some things of differences between husbands and wives today, and just maybe some fun things that deal with how to make your marriage thrive when it comes to the differences between a husband and wife. We've looked through this. We think this is a fun podcast. We thought these were good notes, a good reminder for us, and we want to share some things with you. If there was 5 things your spouse needs to thrive in marriage, and we'll speak at it from both the husband's side and the wife's side, if that will work.
Yeah.
and we'll talk a little bit. I'm going to let Lee speak from the wife's side about, hopefully, husbands, you're going to listen to what Lee has to say here. And wives, I'm hopefully going to explain to you kind of how the husbands feel and their side of being desired and how to make your marriage thrive. So 5 things we want to share with you today on how to make your marriage thrive from your spouse's viewpoint.
Yes. So right off the bat, you said it. They want to be desired. So what does that look like for a woman? Now, a lot of times women, I think, if you're talking sexually, sometimes women think, that's all he ever wants. Why does he just, want to have sex all the time? And but if you look at it from a positive standpoint, it's a good thing that he desires you. If you can remember, he desires you. Don't see that as a bad thing, but view that as you are desired. So,
and it's good to be desired sexually and even non-sexually.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Okay, sorry.
So from a woman's viewpoint, though, men, she doesn't want to just feel desired sexually. There are other ways that you can make her feel desired, like pursuing her when you were dating. When you were dating, you really wanted to let her know that you were interested in her. So you did all kinds of things like taking her on dates and calling her when you weren't together. You were trying to figure out when you could be together next. And maybe you were texting or sending sweet notes, or maybe you sent her flowers or brought her flowers when you picked her up for a date. You held her hand, told her she was beautiful. I mean, you did all these things to pursue her, and that made her feel desired. That let her know you were interested in her. Those things weren't necessarily sexual things. She wants you to offer affection that's not just sexual. Walk through the kitchen and wrap her up in a big hug from behind and kiss her on the neck, and then walk away. Don't expect anything from that. Just give the affection. Those kinds of things let her know, hey, he desires me, other than just in the bedroom. So be tender and playful for no reason. Don't expect anything in return. Just give that affection and let her know that you are interested in her in every way, not just sexually.
And thinking about it, it would be, and there are marriages like this, it would be really hard to be in a marriage where you didn't feel desired, where you thought my wife or my husband has no desire for me. So if you're in there, hang in there. But if you're not, be thankful that you have a spouse that desires you. For husbands, on the other side, ladies, this is going to look a little bit different, because most husbands, I'm not saying all of them, but most husbands do want you to desire them sexually. They want to feel like you still want them, and that they're still valuable to you. We do want to be your knight in shining armor. We love opening jars for you that you can't open or climbing to the top shelf and getting something down for you, or loading the heavy box and putting it in the top of the closet. But we also want to be desired sexually. There's just really nothing for a man like knowing my wife desires me sexually, and how that looks. Maybe some ways in which that looks is most men are very visual. And so when you can be visually available, that makes him go, hey, she still wants me. And that may mean wearing something that he always seems to go, wow, you look really nice in that, or putting on something that makes him just say, wow, men are that way. And every now and then we'll post something on social media that says, if your husband is visual, you be very visual, willing to be visual for him. And we always have husbands that go, are there husbands out there that aren't visual when it comes to their wives? And so really most husbands love it when their wives, wear something cute to bed or something around the house that they wouldn't wear out in public just to kind of show off, hey, I still got the curves, whatever it is. But I can promise you that makes him feel desired, that she's still willing to be playful with me. Make the first move sexually. Sometimes the person with the higher drive, which in about 75% of marriages is going to be the husband, they always seem like sometimes that they're the ones making the first move. And so when you can make the first move on occasion, that makes him feel like you desire me, and that makes me feel good. And so make the first move sexually. Don't always be the one that lets him do it the other way. And then flirt with him. And just because you flirt with him, this is kind of a little bit of confusing for some ladies. They think if I flirt with my husband, that means, he's going to think I want to have sex with him all the time. You can flirt with your husband every day. And that doesn't always mean like you have to have sex with him every day, but flirting is healthy. And when you flirt with him, it just tells him, I desire you. I want you. Just be flirty. He loves it. You flirted with him before marriage and he loves it when you still flirt with him, whether that's a flirty little text message or whatever it is, make your husband feel desired. I guarantee you, Lee always says it in workshops, if you will desire him, he will knock down walls for you. And that is true. So first thing that you can do to bless your marriage is to desire your spouse. And that does look different for husbands and wives. Go to the next one.
All right. So the next thing that we can do in order for our spouse to thrive in marriage is to make them feel valued. So what does that look like for the wife? Husbands, they really feel valued when you just speak life into them.
So what would that mean?
So that means be her biggest fan, be her biggest cheerleader. Whatever she is doing, whether it's at her work, whether it's being a mom, whether it's her cooking, whatever it is, just tell her she is the best at that you have ever seen. Build her up every chance you get.
I saw a quote. This was good. It works for husbands and wives, but clap so loud for your spouse that they don't notice who isn't clapping.
There you go.
Does that make sense?
I can't hear the boos. Yeah.
Cheer so loud for your spouse that they don't even notice who isn't cheering for them.
Very good.
That's a good way to put that.
Very good. Yeah. Just notice her strengths and appreciate them often. You might have to be, looking intentionally for things that she's doing. But notice what she's doing and tell her how much you appreciate that. Tell her why you're thankful for her. That's a big one. She does a lot around the house, to make the house run smoothly and whatever that might look like in your family. Notice that and tell her, thank you for doing my laundry. Thank you for cooking my meals. Thank you for desiring me, like we just talked about. Notice some of those things too. Thank you for the way that you love me. But just, build her up, be her biggest fan, notice her strengths, and tell her why you're thankful for her.
All right. And then from the man side of what it means to feel valued, of course, first thing is going to be he's going to desire respect. And he wants you to respect him. Doesn't mean obey him, doesn't mean we're not saying you're lesser than him. He just wants to be respected, and he desires that greatly. That means you don't talk down to him, you don't belittle him. you speak life into him, and you respect him, and you tell him things like, I'm proud of you, or you are awesome, or well done, or thank you for whatever it is. Again, men want to be their wife's knight in shining armor. And when you allow us to be, and when you want us to help with whatever it is, and you brag on us, it makes us feel great. And I know there are times in our marriage that I do things for Lee that she could probably do for herself, or I probably should slow down long enough and show her how to do it. But it always gives me the opportunity to do something, and for her to go, thank you for doing that. Just because I want that praise of, hey, look, I can still do things for you. I'm still needed in this marriage. But he wants that. And then also, one of the best things you can do, if your husband, if he's still working and not retired, thank him for working so hard for the family. And guys, tell your wife the same thing. But I know personally, I love hearing when my wife says, hey, thank you so much for working so hard for our family. It makes me want to go back to work and do it some more. And so there is just something to that just inspires. And when she notices and says something about it, it just, man, that really builds you up and makes you go, I can take on the world. I can do it. So desire them, value them. Do you want to add anything to the guys for value?
Just as you were talking, I just thought, ladies, make sure to be careful that you're acting like his wife and not his mom. More often than not.
That's true.
So
that's true. Be his lover, not his mother.
There you go.
That's exactly right.
Yes. Okay. The next one. We need emotional connection in order to thrive in marriage. What does this look like for a woman? So emotional connection comes through listening, really listening. She knows when you're listening and when you're not. Listen without trying to fix. That's kind of hard for men because y'all tend to be fixers, and we appreciate that about you. We do.
We just want to help.
And there are times when we want you to fix things. So, if she's pouring her heart out to you over something hard, maybe you need to ask her, do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to fix this, right? Do I need to have a bucket for this conversation or a tool belt, right? A bucket to catch your words or a tool belt to fix whatever's going on. But more often than not, she just wants you to listen. Maybe you can see a clear solution, but she just wants you to listen. Ask her how she's doing on a regular basis. Just say, hey, are you doing okay? Are you feeling stressed over anything? Are you tired?
Is there anything I can take off your plate?
Yeah, what can I take off your plate? How can I help you feel less stressed? Whatever. Ask how she's doing. Do some check-ins. And then as far as emotional connection goes, keep your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Follow through. That builds trust. That goes so far to build that emotional connection.
Yeah. Don't be like the meme I saw the other day that said, had the guy saying, I said I would do it. You don't have to remind me every 6 months. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the opposite. If you've said you're going to do something, let's get it done. Yeah. Follow through.
Yeah.
For a man, emotional connection is going to look a little bit different. Emotional connection for men, again, is tied to sexual intimacy a lot. We feel very close to our wives when sexual intimacy is taking place in marriage. And so while wives oftentimes have to feel emotionally connected in other areas to want to be and participate in sexual intimacy, men oftentimes need sexual intimacy to feel close to their spouse. And so what that looks like for a man is once he connects with you sexually, he feels very, very emotionally close to you. And so that's a very big deal for him. When emotional connection is happening through sexual intimacy, it tells him she still loves me, she still desires me, our marriage is still good. And I know that sounds kind of silly. Wives listening to that, they're going, "What do you mean your marriage is not good?" Like it or not, believe it or not, in a man's mind, it one of the measurements of how's our marriage doing is if we are being sexually intimate or not. And so it is very tied to emotional intimacy. So show affection in different ways, inside the bedroom and of course outside the bedroom too. He likes to be touched. He likes his hand held and everything else. View intimacy as a shared joy and not a task. And I'm talking sexual intimacy. So don't look at, his sexual needs as here's a chore, a duty that I have to do. And if we get around to it, we'll get it done, or let's get this over as fast as possible. When you participate willingly and enjoy it and tell him how much he enjoys it, you're just speaking life into him. And so emotional connection is very tied to sexual intimacy for most all husbands out there.
Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of a cycle, really. When men feel close to women, they're more apt to open up and to talk more freely. They're probably going to be in a frame of mind to be better listeners. And
it really is. What you're saying is a lot of people don't like to hear it, but it's the way it works. God kind of designed it that way. When you're sexually intimate with him, he listens better, talks better, wants to serve you more. He's more in tune to your needs that are not sexual because he feels very connected to you. It's like, that's when he's going, what do you need from me? Mm-hmm. Because he feels very connected to you. And husbands, when you're doing those things, when you're striving to connect with her that's not sexual, when you're looking to serve her and love her and everything else, then you're connecting with her emotionally that makes her want to be more in the mood to be sexually intimate. Yes. So it is a big cycle.
It is a cycle. So the next thing that makes you thrive in your marriage is to be teammates. Being teammates, really that's what marriage is all about, right? The two shall become one.
Not opponents.
Yeah. So what does this look like for wives? Guys, offer to help around the house as much as possible. Share the load, right? You both live in the house. The whole house is not her responsibility to keep clean and to keep up with. You make messes in the house too. So everybody that lives in the house needs to share the load. When you talk about it, kind of goes back to the sexual intimacy thing. The more you're sharing the load, pulling the weight around the house, the less tired and stressed she's going to be, the more sexually available she will probably be when you're sharing the load with all the responsibilities.
Yeah, if you're coming home from work and plopping down in a chair and she's having to do supper, clean up dishes, get kids ready for bed, help with homework, everything else, and you're just sitting in your chair, yeah, she's going to be exhausted when she goes to bed and probably a little put out that you have not volunteered to help in any way. And if you don't know what to do, just ask, hey, what can I do to help you?
Yeah. Yep. Great. So the next part of being a teammate is step up and lead. Don't dominate, but lead. You were talking about how men want that respect and crave that respect. And this is really a way to earn your wife's respect, is when you lead the family in such a way that, she can see how much you care about the family and that you want what's best for the family. So pray with her, pray for her, encourage her faith, share your faith together, set the tone spiritually in your family. All of these things.
So what you're saying, and I like this, you're saying be the provider in the family, not just financially.
Yeah.
But also provide leadership, provide spiritual leadership. step up and lead in other areas
Right.
other than just being the guy that brings home a check for the family.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about a team of any kind, a sports team of any kind, or any kind of team, everybody has a role on the team. Everybody plays a different position. And so it takes both roles, the woman and the man doing their part to make things flow like, God intended for them to do. So be a good teammate and step up and lead.
Okay. From a husband standpoint, what does it look like to be a good teammate? Here's just a few ideas. Wives, hang out with him doing something he likes to do. Whatever his hobby is, be able to carry on a conversation with how was your day on the golf course? What hole did you play well? Whatever it is, if he's a deer hunter, ask him about his hunt or ask him to go with him sometime. But spend time doing some things he likes to do because he loves you hanging out with him. I would also say have his back. I love it when my wife has my back, or knowing that, hey, my wife would, number one, is not going to speak ill about me around other people, and two, is going to have my back because we're a teammate. That's what teammates do. We stand up for one another. And then I would say, hey, trust me to lead with integrity. And hopefully your husband has proven that he can do that. But remind him, encourage him to do that. And then when you see him leading with integrity, praise him for that, because it'll make him want to do that more often.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's do one more.
All right. So, in order to thrive in your marriage, you need for your home to feel like a safe place.
I love that I come home every day and it's like base. Does that make sense?
You can't wait to get home.
The old days of playing tag and having a base, a safe spot.
Mm-hmm.
Home is my safe spot. I'm glad I don't come home to a place where I feel like I'm just going to have more fights when I get here, or it's going to be stressful like work was today. And so home is a safe place for both husbands and wives.
Yeah, hopefully everybody in the family should feel like, hey, I can't wait to get home. That's my safe place. So what makes home feel like a safe place? Well, there's not going to be a lot of harsh words going on. Be more positive, way more positive than you are negative. Watch your tone. Don't emotionally withdraw from each other. If you're stressed or having a hard day, let your spouse know how you're feeling. Don't just withdraw and make yourself unavailable.
Or if you're a little aggravated at your spouse, you don't just, I'll just bottle this up. We're just not going to talk. I refuse to say anything.
Silent treatment kind of thing. So be careful with sarcasm. A lot of times we think those little jabs, if we do it in a joking way, they don't hurt as bad, but they can still hurt. So be careful with, sarcasm that wounds. Don't have secrecy. Home should be a place without secrets. That kind of goes back to that emotional connection there. You're open, you're honest with each other. There's a lot of trust that comes with that, a lot of safety that comes with that.
Yeah. For husbands, this would look like home is a safe place is speak words that build him up, don't tear him down. Speak life into him. Be cautious with the criticism. Now, we're not saying don't be critical, because there are times to be critical, but you should pick your battles and choose to be critical over things that really matter, and make sure that you're giving more praise than criticism. And Lee mentioned it, watch your tone. You may not see what you're saying as criticism, but even if it's not criticism and you're using a tone, it's going to come across that way. So be careful with that. And then every husband and every wife always wants to look forward to coming home. See your home as a filling station where you come to, I'm going to refill my wife's tank, and at some point she's going to refill my tank, and the kids are going to refill my tank, or I'm going to fill the kids' tank, and it's just a place where you just can recharge your battery at the end of the day. These are all things that will help your marriage to thrive in life, is when you do these things.
Yep, I think that these were 5 really good reminders
I like
of
this.
things that we can, make sure we're doing for so that we can have a thriving marriage. That's what we all want.
I agree. If you get a chance, give us a rating. If you're on iTunes or Spotify, I think you can give us a rating. Leave a comment. It will help other folks find this. That just helps us get the word out about healthy marriages. Thanks for hanging out with us. Workshops coming up. We're going to be in Searcy and then in Maypearl, Texas. I've got a couple of those coming up. You check our website anytime at treyandlee.com.
Yep. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.